Okay, I've already got the car washed off with glass cleaner. I've taped the graphic up in place and I have arranged it such that when the graphic is pushed down into the crease, it hits at this back edge where I want it to. I'm going to leave these tape pieces in place. I'm going to tear off so that it makes a marker of where I want to be. I'm going to roll the wax paper off the graphic to expose the glue side. Now this is ControlTac film, so when it goes on, it doesn't stick real badly at first. It's a car wrap film. You put it on there, and once you rub it really hard, that's when it starts to grab. So in the meantime, it's pretty forgiving. I'll get my pieces of tape lined back up where I had them. And I smooth the graphic out. Use my squeegee. I establish a baseline, and then I gently rub out from that baseline. I get up here to the door, and I'll push that down. And I'm going to keep this back part off of the plastic vent while I rub down closer and closer, because I don't want to tent over that gap. I want to get right into it. Run my fingernail in there and then work that up and over. Now as you start to go over, you've got this weird kind of slack here. Just keep rubbing that down. Keep working it sequentially. If you start to get too ruffly, you can get this mask wet because the paper is the least conformable part. If you get it wet, it'll start to go mushy in about 30 seconds or a minute, and that'll make it a little easier for you. But if you pay attention ahead of time, you can keep working these little pieces of extra material. You can keep rubbing them down. Got to kind of use your fingers. Don't rub it sideways. Keep working out radially. I've got these little triangles here of excess. I'm going to attack them like that. But if you want to, you can try not to get any moisture on the backside. That makes it not want to stick right away, and you got to wait a long time. I've got a little wrinkle forming right there. I'm going to use the back of my fingernail. You can also use a heat gun. Handy dandy paint stripper. That'll make it get real mushy and want to conform on there. When you're doing a full car wrap, that's the way you'll do it, with a heat gun or a torch. Alright, nice and laid down. Now I'm going to split the door. You want to use a fresh blade because a fresh blade falls through it like butter. If you're pushing on it with an old blade, you're doing yourself a disservice. And if you start from the bottom, if you make a mistake, it's not quite as noticeable. I'm going to put my knife blade into the gap, and I'm going to keep it up against this side of the door, but I'm going to angle it over so that I make my cut more central in the gap. Nice smooth motion. And if you have to stop, don't change the angle of your blade. Just keep that steady. When you're all done, then you can pick the tape off. Be real careful. And if something comes up like that, rub it back down. pull it back at a nice hard angle like that. And if you see any little bubbles, you can just rub them back down. Don't smear it. Won't cause a wrinkle, but if you got a little bubble, just touch it. And this car wrapping film makes it really nice. It just disappears. And here along the edge, I'm going to wipe it down, being careful not to fold it onto itself. Pop the door and just rub that around. The glue will continue to set up more and more over the next week. It's strong enough right now to drive. You're fine. I tell people to avoid washing the car for probably a week. And then of course, you want to take it easy on the graphics forever. I don't like machine car washes. They survive it just fine, especially on commercial vans and stuff. It lasts, it's not a problem, but if you got a sports car and you're trying to keep it nice looking, then you know, you're probably not in the machine wash anyway. Sometimes I use a heat gun, get it a little warm to activate the glue. You can use a hairdryer too, it's just slower. Like to get that crevice nice and laid down there with a little heat, because that's the part you don't want to pop up on you. There you go. Not too tough. The film makes it really easy.